Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another TouchDesigner tutorial. It's UV here, and I hope you're all doing good. So, it's been quite a while that I haven't posted any new tutorials, but now I'm back, and I have lots of new ideas to share with you. So yeah, in this tutorial I'm going to show you a new update of my latest tutorial, which is the infection component. So what I did is basically I update the infection to the latest T3D toolkit. This component is based on the T3D toolkit by Josef Pelz, and lately he posted a new version. So if you have the T3D and you right click on the right top corner on the icon over here, you can see the T3D menu and you can look up your version. So now the infection simulation uses the new version, and a nice feature that Joseph added is the update old T3D, so you can update older systems that you've built with T3D to their latest version. And also the advanced, which creates stabs and regenerates the T3D operators. So for example, I can add like a sphere, for example, and a threshold and a displace. And when I press the create stubs, it's going to basically delete the content inside each of the T3D operators. And if I regenerate it, it was going to basically regenerate this, which is a very exciting news because now I can post and share the infection talks file with those stabs, and you can regenerate the whole simulation and the whole component with the new version of the T3D without the need basically to ask for it with messaging me or emailing me and ask for permission to get the download link. You can now just download it directly from Patreon, from my Patreon, and if you have the latest version of T3D, you can regenerate the component. So I'm going to show you this right now, and also show you the new updates that I did for the simulation. So I've got like just a project file of TouchDesigner and just a simple render setup, and the T3D was loaded also. So I'm going to grab the infection talks file with those stubs. So this is the infection, and you can go inside and see that you have like lots of stubs over here. And if you don't have the T3D, you can just not use the simulation. So to regenerate, I'm going to press right click on the T3D icon on the right corner over here, and on the advanced tab just regenerate it like this. It will take a moment, and that's it. As you can see, it still throws an error. So to solve this, you need to basically just activate the simulation, and if you still get errors, you need to basically just uncook and cook it, just like that, and no errors anymore. And to see if it works, let's just connect a sphere to the first input. I'm going to use this resolution 16-bit float, and I want to output the infected volume plus infection over here to render it with a volume. Let me just optimize it, and I want a keyboard in to basically reset my simulation. So if I press 1, you can see that it works, and we have our sphere, and the infection is being slowly infecting the sphere. Alright, so for the new features, the inputs are the same. Basically, we have the volume, the SUP, the points position, and the points color. For the outputs, I've added 2 more outputs. So we have the infected volume infection. We have only the infection if we want, and only the volume. And we have also the inverted of this volume, but we need to toggle it on over here on the volume tab. Output inverted infected inverted infected volume, sorry. So it's basically the opposite of this, which will be useful for other tutorials on the future with combination of infection and flow 3D and other stuff. Because maybe you're asking why to do this, because we have the infection also, which does basically the same thing, but if you can see, the infection doesn't fill up the whole volume, original volume. It leaves like gaps over here, and the inverted infected volume just filling up the whole volume. And yeah, and basically we're going to use it to spread out heat or temperature across our volume for the flow 3D, and to spread out basically anything that we want. Yeah, and in other tutorials that I will show you different approaches and different ideas to use this feature. Alright, so for the parameters, we have the simulation tab. We can increase the resolution, and let's use the first output. So increasing the resolution increases the GPU load, but also the precision and the accuracy of the simulation. You can go higher with the precision, also to 32-bit float, but I think 16-bit float is quite enough. With the new feature, you can stop the simulation like before, like this, but you can also just set the simulation threshold, the percentage of volume that the infection will be consuming until it stops. So for example, like 50% will stop the simulation at approximately 0.5 over here. You can see the infection progress is running from 0 until it gets to 1, where 1 means that the whole volume was consumed by the infection. So this is it, and obviously the more resolution and the more precision, the more precision this feature will work. So for example, 87%, yeah, it's very close to it. Alright, so also I've added double steps for the smooth gradient passes, so you can use this feature also to smooth out the infection. And for the cycle, there's also like the cycle simulation threshold, so you can cycle from a certain percentage, and you can also delay it by 4 seconds or many seconds that you want. This is for the simulation page and the seed page. So the seed page basically controls the initial position of the infection. So if there is no input over here on the points position, the default is that the amount of points over here will be scattered for based on the volume, if there is volume, or based on the sup, if the volume is from the sup. So to see this, actually you can enable seed selection over here and display selection, and then you can see the points that are being scattered, and you can actually select a certain points within those points. So if I increase the number of points, you can see that the red points now are being selected only, and you can see the amount of points post selection. And you can see that it starts from those points. You can see here the points texture resolution, so it's going to be also applied over here. And if I disable the seed selection, so it's also going to be updated. Yeah. So this is very useful, I think. Obviously you can input like point position over here if you want. I will do this in 1 second. I want to cover also like the other parameters over here, which also applies for the scattering. So if the scattering is being based on the sup, there is a need for like a number of attempts per point, and a threshold which will choose between which channel the scattering will be based on. And if there's an unsuccessful scattered point, it will be a none, or you can choose a color. This is based on the sprinkle over here, sprinkle T3D. But if the if there's a sup instead over here, so there's no need for this features. And you can also play around with the seed and auto random the seed in each frame and in each reset of the simulation. So yeah, for example, using a sup, let's make a text and an N, which is a nice letter, and extrude it a bit, connect it over here. So if I'm using a volume from sup, I can press forget the bounds over here and reload it, and it will show off like this. And now I can maybe choose like over here the points that will start, and you can see those parameters are disabled. And if I choose to add my own points with like just a noise, for example, so you can see it's being updated over here. And also if I reset, it's going to be updating. Oh, let's disable the selection for example. It's going to updating the resolution. And you can obviously select also from the input points over here. And you can also use colors as before. Let's use the default with the scattering, and I want to choose something like this. Alright, you can toggle off the display selection now if you're happy with your selection. Now for the volume page over here, you can output the volume or not output the volume. You can use the dynamic volume, which I covered on the first tutorial. I've added here a dissipation for this, so just keep in mind. And everything is pretty much the same: blurring, gain, color, and this is like the output of the inverted infected volume, which is this one. And you can also use like binarization. So sometimes it's not fully 0 and 1. So if you want to have it like fully 0 and 1, you can make it like this. This is also a feature that I will use in other tutorials in the future, so just keep in mind. And the infection tab, let's output everything like this. You can disable the output of the infection if you want. You can use the inverted infected volume for the infection actually if you want, but this is not using the colors, so just keep in mind it's going to use the default color over here. So it's basically taking this as the infection. But if you want to be more precise, you can just use this like a default or enable the instancing, which is much more load on the GPU, but you have much more precise on the let's make it white like this on the radius. And we have also dissipation like before. And blurring also. Alright, last is the, not last, but almost last is the output. So you can upscale the resolution. So now it's based on the simulation resolution, but you can upscale it. And you can fit the resolution to the volume. So this is currently the volume resolution. So let's not upscale it for now, and you can just output it like this. And let me just disable the instancing for just a second, and it will scale your resolution of the output based on the volume. So I can upscale it also. And yeah, you can also, I think, make it higher if you want. And last is the transform, that basically there's no changing over here. This is like pre-simulation. You can scale it, you can rotate it, and whatever you want to do with it as transformation. And this is also useful for the dynamic volume over here that I covered in the first tutorial. So if you want to watch it, please do. yeah, I hope you will use it and create beautiful stuff with this. And lots of those features, I think it's like tiny updates and more control of the simulation, which is just like fine tuning. But just keep in mind that a lot of the updates in the futures were done to basically make it more comfortable to be creating stuff with not just the infection, but like the infection with other stuff like Flow 3D and more example that I will share soon. Yeah, this is it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye. Thank you so much.